So this is a story about when I was a young mom, and my husband at the time, Stefan's dad, was in the military, and he had been transferred to Texas. We went and joined him, Stefan and I. Stefan was just a couple of months old at the time. I think it was November of '68 when we got there, and my then husband, he had selected a really horrible place for us. It was this little tiny thing on stilts in a place called Copper's Cove outside of Killeen, and it was just hideous. It was absolutely hideous, and they were like two identical boxes on stilts right next to it on either side of it, and a 7-Eleven type operation in back of it with cars coming and going all night long, and music blasting, and it was just a really unpleasant place. So while my hubby was doing his work during the day, I started driving around Killeen up and down the streets, and I saw a house. It was with a for sale sign, and we had absolutely no money, but I thought, well, maybe they would be interested in renting this place. It was adorable, a little yellow house with red trim, just the cutest thing. 3 mimosa trees in the front yard. There was a garage in the back and a yard in back. And so I called the realtor and said, would your house on the street be available for rental? My husband's in the military and will be here about 2 years, and we'll take good care of it. So it ends up that I was able to rent this house for only $5 more than what we were paying in Copper's Cove, and it was so much nicer. It was really a beautiful house, but my husband thought I had lost my mind because we had no furniture for the house that I had just rented except Stefan's crib. And just at that time, my parents had sent me $100. They lived in New York. They had sent me $100 for Christmas. And in '68, Christmas of '68, the $100 is probably the equivalent of $2,000 today. It was a lot of money to me, and so during the next few days, I was listening to these sales on a local radio station, and somebody was advertising a bed, a dresser, a kitchen table, a stove, a refrigerator, a sofa, I think a dresser. Anyway, all for like $89. And so I quick called, made an appointment, went to see this stuff. It was a Quonset. These people lived in a Quonset hut in the most marginal conditions, but they had been talked into buying this state-of-the-art refrigerator with things that lit up and practically beeped at you. And I mean, for '68, that was a very highfalutin, powerful refrigerator this guy had gotten himself. But he was selling all this other stuff to support the refrigerator they had just bought. And so I said yes, and I bought all this stuff, and my husband and I went the next day and picked it up and put it in the house. And it was our first night then in the new house. It was a bed, we had the dresser, the kitchen table, we had a sofa, a stove, a refrigerator. And so the next morning I got up to make coffee, and I flicked on the light in the kitchen, and the kitchen was just swarming with roaches everywhere. It was like, oh my God, what a nightmare. And I hate roaches, absolutely hate roaches. And so I screamed, this blood-curdling scream, and the husband thought some murderer had come in to do us, and when he saw it was just a bunch of bugs, he said, oh, for God's sake. So he went and got 2 bottles of poison, roach poison. He took the door off it turned out to be the door of the refrigerator. It had this corrugated cardboard or something inside it, and generations of roaches had set up their livelihoods in there. So he took the door off, he took out the cardboard, he just inundated the cardboard with this poison, and I went after all the roaches inside and got rid of them. And he never reproached me, I will say that for him. He never reproached me for having bought a refrigerator that was loaded down with multiple generations of roaches, Texas roaches. Probably the best kind on the planet, the most hardy. Anyway, that's my story of furnishing a house for $100 back then, and God, I was so proud of myself having accomplished that. That was the beginning of my interior decorator skills, I think. Okay, hope you guys have a good weekend. That Washington isn't making you too nuts. And that you keep loving trees, flowers, people, life.